Hello guys, now we'll see the class 7th anxiety, social and political life. Chapter 5, Women Changing the World. Here we'll see the topic schooling and education today both boys and girls attend school in a large numbers. Today we can see the boy and girls has got equal opportunity to attend the schooling. As we will see, there still remain differences between the education of boys and girls. Okay, so but even though boys and girls has got the equal opportunity to study and come to the school, but then also there are lots of difference in between of their education. India has a census every 10 years. Okay, after every 10 years India conduct a census, a survey, that is known as census, in which they conduct the basic things. Okay, which counts the whole population of the country. Under this census the whole population is counted. It also gathers detailed information about the people living in India, their age, schooling, what work they do, and so on. Okay, this census also include the information like the people living in India, what is their age, schooling, and what the work they do, and so on. We use this information to measure many things like the number of literate people and the ratio of man and women. Okay, through this sensor we also use to measure the so many things like the how many peoples have literate peoples. Okay, what is the literacy rate and the ratio of man and women. Okay, according to 1961 census, about 40% of all boys and men 7-year-old and above were literate. That is, they could at least write and their names, compared to just 15% of girls and women. If we talk about the census of 1961, okay, so how what does the census 1961 state? It states that there was a 40% of boys and men who were the 7-year-old and above them where they were the literate, and that is they could list write their names, compared to the just 50% of all girls and women. In the most recent census 2011, these figures have been grown to the 82% for the boy and man and 65% for the girl and women. Okay, so what it's saying like in we can see how differences is the in 1961 census the boy ratios of literacy was 50-40 and the girl was a 15%, but as per the 2011 census, okay, it has increased like 82% boy and 65% girl. Now this means that the proportion of both man and women who are now able to read and have to have at least some amount of schooling has increased. But as you can also see, the percentage of the male group is still higher than the female group. The gap has not gone away. Okay, so through this census 2011 we can see like there was obviously the percentage were increase of the girls schooling percentage were obviously increased. But we can also one thing recognize here like there the differences has been not increased, and the percentage of male group is still higher than the female group. Now the gap has not gone away. Here is the table that shows the percentage of girls and boys who leaves schools from different social groups, including scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. Okay, here is the following is a table which given which represent the girls and boys how they are dropouts of the school, from where they drop out, and also the different groups including scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. See, this diagram represent the level all SC ST. Okay, so we can see the primary classes from 1 to 5 boys ratio dropout ratio is 4.36 and girls is 3.8. The same we can see the in case of ST that is more, and in case of SC also it is more. So the same thing you can compare for the higher classes also, like a class 6 to 8 and class 9 to 10. You have probably noticed in the above table that the SC and ST girls leave school at the rate that is higher than the category all girls. Okay, see you can from the above table we can see here, we can notice here like SC and ST girls dropout rate is higher as compared to all girls. See, just all girls ratio is 17. Okay, but the ST ratio is 24. So you can just see the total ratio is equal to the ST. Now this means that the girls who are from a Dalit, scheduled caste and Adivasi scheduled tribe backgrounds are less likely to remain in school. So from this sensor, what is the represent, it represent that ki basically जो girls हैं they belong from the Dalit class, and the girls who belong from the ST class, they less remain to the school, their dropout rate is highly. The 2011 census are also found that Muslim girls are less likely than the SC and ST girls to complete primary school. Okay, so it also identify about the Muslim girls who are whose dropout rate is higher even compared to the SC and ST. Now, while a Muslim girl is likely to stay in a school for around 3 years, for girls for other communities spend around 4 years. You can just observe the difference of the Muslim girls and the girls from the other community. Their dropout differences of 3 to 4 years. Now, there are the several reasons why the children from Dalit, Adivasi, Muslim communities leave school in the many parts of the country, especially in the rural and the poor areas. There may not even be proper schools, not teachers who teach on the regular basis. If a school is not as close to the people's home and there is no transport like a bus or vans, parents may not be willing to send their girls to school. Okay, see what it's saying, like there may be different factors for the reason that the Dalit, Adivasi and Muslim communities girls basically or people leave the school. Not only the girls, even the boys, you know, especially in a rural area or the poorer area. Reason, because of not proper having the educational institute like a school, and then who does not even the teachers who teaches the regularly. Okay, and next is if a school is not close to the people, suppose if a school distance is also different, is a longer distance, than people generally drop out. There is a transport buses and runs, they also problem. Now many are too poor and unable to bear the cost of educating all their children. Many families are so poor, okay, and they are not able to bear the cost of education of the all children. Suppose if we talk about the poor class family, they don't have the about the basic knowledge like education, so they are not about the saving of the children or just having the two children or one children. They have a many numbers of children, so their the source of income is very less, so their all children cannot go to the school. Boys may get a preference in the situation. So suppose there is a two girl and one boy, so obviously, or one girl one boy, so obviously boy child will go to the school, but the girl child will not go to the school. Many children also leave school because they are discriminated against by their teacher and classmates, just like a Om Pras Balmiki was. Okay, what it's saying ki like what are the factors like women scheduled caste SC and Muslim girls or boys are not going to the schools. There are the lots of factors like we will just revise it, like the being a poor class family. Okay, distance of schooling, especially in rural area. Okay, and poorer section, preference of male over a female. All these are the factors. Now, women's movement, we will read the women's movement. Women and girls now have the right to study and go to school. There are the other spheres like legal reform, violence and health, where the situation of women girls are improved. Okay, women's movement, there are lots of movement done by the women through which the situation of women has been increased. If we talk about the present scenario, the situation of women is far better than the previous. Like these changes have not happened automatically, or we can obviously understand like the in the previous, like in ancient type of our India or in other country, the condition of women's were so poor, and this condition has been improved, so it has taken a many movement and so many things. Now, this women individually and collectively have struggled to bring about these changes. Women, they have individually or even though collectively they have struggled a lot to bring about the changes. This struggle is known as women's movement. So this struggle is basically known as women's movement. Individual women and women's organizations from different parts of the country are part of movement. So if we talk about the individual women's and women's from the organization, they are the different parts of the country and the parts of movement. Many men support the women's movement as well. Many men have also supported the women's movement because they understand the actual scenario of the women's, how they are facing the problem, and their condition need to be improved. The diversity, passion, and the efforts of those involved makes it a very vibrant movement. So the diversity and passion and efforts of the women and men makes it the very vibrant movement. Different strategies have been used to spread the awareness, fight discrimination, and seek justice. Here are the some glimpse of this struggle. See, just try to understand this, like there has been lots of discrimination. Okay, there have been lots of discrimination happen with the women. So there have been lots of fight for against the discrimination, seek justice, and spread awareness has been done to reach this the stability, or we can say the today's condition. So here are the some example. Here are the some example. As you can see, this is the just example of the women's movement, or just here is a, you can say this is a logo which is just introduced by the government of Indian government to save the girl child. Okay, and to educate the girl child. It is a just campaign which was landed in 2014. You can also see the this percentage, like a boys and girls percentage of ST boys and the all boys. Now we'll move to the next topic. So next topic is campaign. Campaign is to fight the discrimination and violence against the women are an important parts of the women's movement. See, campaigning is basically one of the best part to fight the against the discrimination and the violation against the movement. Now campaigns have also led to the new laws being passed. Okay, campaign also sometimes what happens is, suppose if there is some campaign is going on against the some discrimination or against the some unfair thing, so obviously government will take the some action, and government will create some laws. A law was made in 2006 to give women who face physical and mental violence within their homes, also called the domestic violence, some legal protection. See, from this diagram, this campaign recognizes the discrimination of the, like the women's domestic violence. Women's were basically the victims of the domestic violence, and this campaign was running in the 2006. You can just see this campaign was running in 2006 due to the domestic violence. Similarly, the effort made by the women's movement led the Supreme Court to formulate guidelines in 1997 to protect women against the sexual harassment at the workplace and the within an educational institution. So just you can imagine, like in 2006, okay, there was movement against the against the discrimination of women, or against the domestic violence. So what was the result of that domestic violence, that campaign? The result came that the Supreme Court in 19 Supreme Court, under the guidelines of 1997, they introduced the women's against the sexual harassment at the workplace. Like women were basically harassed at a workplace and the some educational institution, and this were not recognized by our society or our legal. Now we will move to the next, like in the 1980s, for example, women's groups across the country spoke out against the dowry death cases of the young brides being murdered by their in-laws or husband greedy for more dowry. So if we talk about the 1980s, okay, in 1980, what is the example given? Here is example given. There were the numbers of women's group. Okay, there were lots of women and they formed the group. Okay, so there was just a campaign going against the dowry death cases. So what happened in the ancient time, or even in the today's also, if we move to the some part of the India, especially to the rural part of India, then still it is a recognizable. Like if there is a no much dowry is given to the bride, then she might be a victim of many domestic violences or many violences which happen in her home. So you can just see here, Just a minute. Yeah, you can just see here the cases. Young bride being murdered by whom? In-laws or house. So they were how much they were greedy, so that they even murder the young bride. Women's group spoke out against the failure to bring this cases to justice. Okay, women's basically, they were basically, they put the campaign, and they spoke against the failure to bring the cases to justice. They did so by coming on to the streets, approaching the courts, and by sharing information. How does they did they this how they make this campaign? They came to the street. Okay, they approach to the courts, they share the information, they spread the information, they create the awareness. Eventually this became a public issue in the newspaper and society, and the dowry laws were changed to punish families to who seek dowry. Okay, what happened suddenly? The result, what was the result of this? The result that this became a public issue, and now the dowry, that cases where became the public issue. Now it was the just issue of one or two homes, but it has now become the public issue. So basically, the dowry laws were changed to punish the family who sick. So you can just see here was the dowry campaign was going on, okay, by the some women. So as the this campaign goes, the government has made the some legal laws to punish the peoples who are doing against the dowry law. Now here is a just one thing. Yeah, Satyarthi, an active member of the women's movement, sitting on the step of the Supreme Court, surrounded by the legal files gathered during the course of long legal battle to seek justice for her daughter who has been murdered for the dowry. Here you can see the this old lady. Her name is Satyarni. Okay, she is just sitting in front of Supreme Court. Okay, for the justice of her daughter. You can just see here is a just her daughter photograph, and she has been murdered due to the dowry case. And here is a lots of file she has taken, and she is sitting in front of Supreme Court. Now, raising awareness, an important part of women's movement work is to raise the public awareness on the women's right issue. What it's saying ki, like, if there is a no race, okay, there is a no public movement or public awareness, how do people will get to know that this is a dowry issue is a really a big issue for the women? Their message has been spread through street plays, songs, and public meeting. How the women have spread their message through the street plays, songs, and public meeting. Now here you can just see the diagram, how girls are protesting. The women's movement raises its voice when the violation against women take place, or for example when a law or policy act against their interests. When the women's movement take place, movement takes place basically when their voice raised and there is a violation against them is happening, and they raise the voice and the take place. For example, when a law or policy act against the interest, suppose there is some law which is against the women. So in such cases they generally protest. Public rallies and demonstration are very powerful way of drawing attention to injustice. See, public rallying, demonstration are the very powerful way of drawing the attention to injustice. You might be seen, if there is a something nowadays, people used to do the candle march, they used to sit on the asan to get the justice. So the same way the women's policies or women's protesting all this were going on. So what we have studied till now, we will just revise it. What we have started, and what were our topic, and how we have gone in. Now we have started the topic schooling and education. Under the schooling and education, we have covered the three important things. First is thing is that at present situation, number of boys and girls schooling is equal, but if we compare to the 10 years, previous 10 years, okay, or previous 20 years or 30 or 40 years, but their gap is still, suppose if there is a 60 boy and then girl are the 40, okay, but still there is a gap. And what happened, how do we came to know this about the literacy rate of the people, about the their age, about the schooling, about everything, through the census. Okay, Indian government conduct a survey after every 10 years, and after every 10 years they collect some sample or some data, like the population, okay, number of people, Okay, number of, what is their age, what is their education, who are going to the school, and what is the drop rate, all these things. So under all these things come under the census. Now, after that, what we have studied, and we have also studied the comparison of census 1961 and 2011. Obviously there is the growth in ratio of girl and boy. And but after that, we have also recognized one important thing, that is there's a difference of SC ST and the Muslim classes, whose dropout rate is more. Okay, so after that, we have started what are the movement taken by the government, what is the movement which are taken by the women to achieve this status, like what we are living in a today's era, like the women are equally treated as a man. This has taken a lots of effort, that is a movement, and achieve movement, different policies made by the government. So I hope you understand this and enjoyed this classes. We'll come to the next class with the next topic.